Hello and welcome back to Room 442. Time now for some Toronto FC chat. Back to winning ways. They beat Charlotte on the weekend and now on Wednesday, back home against LA Galaxy and Greg Vanney. I'm joined by Mikey Singh and Albert Vartanian. Mikey, the grand return of the chosen one, Greg Vanney, back to BMO Field after a couple of years away now. What will the reception be like for him? I'm assuming it'll be fantastic.
Yeah, I think it should be. It's warranted, right? Based on everything he's done for Toronto FC. Took the team from mediocrity to MLS Cup champions, their best ever season. Really hit heights that we've never seen in Toronto. And, the ending was a little abrupt.
Yeah.
The way that he left.
Was there animosity there on either side?
I think there was a little bit of animosity between Vanney and former general manager Ali Curtis. I'm not sure those two always saw eye to eye in terms of the way that the team wanted to move forward. So, Greg's he's a professional, and I think no matter what, they kind of left on good terms, but it wasn't all smooth sailing behind the scenes.
Albert, though, if hirings and firings happen during pandemics, do they actually happen?
Yeah, they do.
Like the game disappeared for 2 years.
It does definitely feels that way. Not just with the MLS, with every single sport, right? Yeah. He was obviously a manager that came here and did everything he possibly could for Toronto FC, right? So it'll be good to see him back. I want to bring this up because I know how James feels about this. But before we get your take, tribute videos. Should Greg Vanney get one when he returns?
He should. I think Greg Vanney should get a tribute video. I'm not sure you do it for every player.
Right.
Like, I don't know, a Marcus Stroman for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah,
I don't know if
we're going to find out this
But Vanney's a special case, right? He bought a championship here.
Yes, exactly. And he's the all-time winningest coach in Toronto FC history.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that does not say much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at the numbers that he put up, I mean, come on. Yes, it was easy to surpass everyone before him, but that speaks volumes to what he was able to come in and do and really get the best out of his players, his squad. And look what happened to Toronto FC after Vanney left. I think that's kind of what speaks the most volume to. They lost
But
the
nothing
locker
happened
room was
because
in
it was a
shambles.
pandemic, right? So nothing.
Yeah,
Football closed down
no.
for 2 years.
Exactly.
So tell us how you
Now
feel
it's
about
back.
tribute
Okay,
video.
where do I start? No, listen, if anyone deserves one, it's Greg Vanney, of
Yeah.
course. I mean, what he's done, he rebuilt this team into a championship contending team. I understand that, but the whole concept is ridiculous to me. I know I'm older, I know I'm grumpy, I'm miserable, I get that. But the fact of the matter is, why give any opponent the edge? I never understood this. You go to a Leaf game and they're honouring fourth liners who played 11 games, like, oh, thanks for the memories. Come on, when they retire, bring them back, have a party, emboss them in bronze, put them outside the stadium. I'm all for that, 100%. Celebrate the magnificence of these players and coaches. But why give the opponent even the slightest edge? Don't put a smile on his face. It should be a miserable experience.
So let me
I hate this
ask you,
stuff.
so what kind of reception should the fans give Greg Vanney
Okay, the
then?
fans should absolutely say, listen, thanks, Greg, before the match. Thank you very much.
Done.
And then cast awful insults in his direction.
Yeah.
That's simple.
He is the
sport.
enemy,
It
right?
should be
He's
anger and
the enemy.
hate.
He's on the other side. I'm with James on this one.
I
I'm not a
agree.
big fan.
No, I do agree.
And the tribute video, it's cool, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, TFC are fighting for a playoff spot. This is a big game for them. The last thing they should do is, like James said, give LA Galaxy any advantage at all.
I'm just thinking about the narrative being Greg Vanney comes out, LA Galaxy blow TFC away 3-0. Greg Vanney puts a dagger in
Don't say
Toronto
these things.
FC's
Come on, don't
playoff
say these
hopes.
things.
Come on, that's a headline that's going to
And they would be a dagger, right? At this point, they're close to must-wins. They've dropped some points recently. But against the Galaxy, a decent team, very much fine for their own playoff lives right now, with Vancouver in the West, of course. This is a huge match for Toronto FC. Did you see enough against Charlotte to think this team's back to where they should be?
No, I didn't. I thought that was a game that they grinded out. They ended up getting the result because of a couple of moments of brilliance from Lorenzo Insigne and Federico Bernardeschi. But as a team, I don't think they played particularly well. And I think they're really missing the heart of their midfield in Jonathan Osorio and Mark Anthony Kaye. So we got to see if both of those players come back into the 11. And if that's the case, even one of them coming back into the 11, then I think you see TFC start to get back to where I think they could be. But LA Galaxy is going to be a much tougher test than Charlotte will be.
Mike, are you surprised to see that TFC are such big favorites? -114 at home to beat the Galaxy?
I am. I know they have a home record. Like, they are fantastic playing at BMO Field. There's something special playing at BMO Field, and we know the atmosphere, especially with Greg Vanney's return, will be good and something that the team can feed off of. But LA Galaxy are no pushovers. They're a team that's equally, if not more, desperate right now than Toronto FC, because they're hanging on to that 7th and final playoff spot in the West. Like TFC, they also went out and made some additions and made their team better. I mean, Ricky Puig from Barcelona,
great signing,
and the assist that he had over the weekend. I mean, they're making a push right now. So is Toronto FC. So to see TFC favored by that much, it's a little surprising.
Yeah, so from a betting perspective, let me ask you from a betting perspective, would you lay the 114 or would you go the other way?
Oh, go the other way because the odds are in your favor, right?
Right.
I think, if anything, you could say that this game's probably a 50-50 toss-up at best.
And when that's the case, you go with the plus money. Yeah,
Always.
I'm with you, man.
Always.
I'm with you.
Is it a naivety on the bookies' parts at this point with TFC? They seem to be favoured most games, despite struggling to find consistency. It's almost like the bookies are buying into the hoopla and hype around this team. A team that's building, getting better and better, and I think we'll get there eventually. But right now, are still trying to figure out exactly what they are.
Yeah, I mean, the results, if you're looking just the results, what are they? 4-2-1 in their last 7 games since Insigne and Bernardeschi made their debuts. So the results there speak for itself. Like, they've lost just once in their last 7 games. So on that part, you understand why they're favoring them a little bit. But then when you break down the games individually, especially lately, like early on, I thought they looked, the first 5-6 games, I thought they looked like the better team each game. Against Charlotte, I'm not sure that was necessarily the case. I think they got a bit lucky there. So I'm waiting to see what, and even in Miami, like I thought they didn't play their best game. So I'm waiting to see what this version of TFC looks like on Wednesday because, we've seen a couple different versions of this team already.
And
Go ahead.
Sorry, they rely so much on these Italian players. I was just looking at a stat. Criscito, Bernardeschi, and Insigne have contributed to 13 of 15 TFC goals since they arrived. That's obviously a problem, but back to the bookies, I think that's what they look at. When you have, when it comes to the MLS, these players are world class in that league, and I think when you have that, those players can buy you wins.
Yeah.
They can make things happen. So I think that's where the bookies can see the advantage going towards Toronto, plus they're at home.
But it's not like LA Galaxy don't have those players.
No, not at all. Exactly. But right now, like,
Chicharito.
you're talking about the most informed players in MLS.
Yeah,
They play for TFC.
they're up there. They're up there for sure.
Well, let me ask you this. I know it's early still, and we'll revisit this later in the season, but TFC's MVP right now, who are you going for? I mean, it's tough to look away from Bernardeschi, even though he's only played 6 or 7 games.
Bernardeschi has a serious shot at probably taking home that made-up award. But he has,
That made-up award.
Yeah.
In all 4 videos, but not MVP awards.
no, he's making a serious case. I still think, as you said off air, I think it's Jonathan Osorio.
Yeah.
And what he's been able to do, I think, is 9 goals, 5 assists. He has the most goals and assists, goal contributions on the team so far this year. And we know what this team looks like without Jonathan Osorio in the lineup. And I think that's even with the Italians in. So I think that still speaks volumes to Ozo's significance and just how good he has been for this team this year. I think he's taken his game to a new level ahead of the World Cup. And yeah, I still think it's Ozo based on the fact that he's been here the whole season. Now, if you're just talking the last 7 games, you can't really argue that it's Bernardeschi, right?
What point do you start panicking about Ozo's future in Toronto if you're a fan? Is now okay to start panicking?
Yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. Is that good? No, I mean, I've spoken to Ozo a couple times about this, and his message has remained the same. It's unless TFC offer him something that's ludicrous and outrageous that he has to accept, he's going to wait as long as possible to kind of dictate what his future will be.
What's that number? What do you think that number would be?
I would say DP territory, but I don't think that's somewhere they want to or it should go at this point in their stance. We know the players that they're going after. We know the caliber of players that they're going after. I don't think Ozo, as much as he means to the club, is DP quality. So I think that's probably the number. I think what he's trying to do is wait till the World Cup plays out, right? Because we've seen so many times, countless times, a player goes to the World Cup, they have a great World Cup.
It's a common theme, man. Happens all the time, right? You get fantastic performance in the World Cup, and you get a big move, and you get a big payday as well. Has he hinted to you at all, like where he wants to go? I'm sure Europe is isn't the question. But would it be the Premier League, Serie A, La Liga?
No, he hasn't, but he has his desire. He's expressed he does want to eventually go play in Europe. I'm not sure if that's changed though, because of we see what's happened with Richie Larea. Guys who go over when you're 30 years old, 30 plus. It's not a guarantee that you're going to get playing time. So is the grass really greener overseas in Europe, or is it greener here with the Toronto FC team that has high ambitions, that's bringing in Insignes, Bernardeschi, another DP that hopefully will be in that same caliber of player? It's hard to argue you're going to find a guaranteed better setup.
Yeah, I mean, for a player too, it could be a bucket list thing. You want to check it off. Just I played in Europe as a professional.
I think it's a huge thing actually.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that's really important. I think when you're growing up to be a player and you're playing at the highest level, you'd like to how can I fare over there? Can I make it happen?
He could be the next James Rodriguez. Have a great World Cup and then fail ever since.
But make a lot of money though.
Make a lot of money in the process. I don't think Ozil will fail wherever he goes. Absolutely. All right, fellas. Thank you so much. Wednesday, TFC, Galaxy. Welcome back, Greg Vanney.